Hey party people, welcome back to MVM, and today I'm here with a review of Libertalia, Winds of Galecrest. And I've said that so many times today because that last tagline, Winds of Galecrest wins, I've gotten it wrong so many times. But I'm good now, so let's keep going. Libertalia, Winds of Galecrest is a 1 to 6 player game by Stonemaier Games. Takes about 45 minutes or so. And in this game, you are playing Sky Pirates, and that is different than the 2012 version. Really hard to find game is Libertalia, Dark Pirates, just really dirty pirates there, and it's got dark art theme, whereas this one has a lighter theme, nice blues and greens and different things like that, different kind of art style. That's also shown on the board that I have right here. It's going to have this beautiful island style, and then on the flip it's going to have a little bit of a darker, rainier side, which represents the kind of lighter version of the game, a little bit more hands-off, and then the other one that's highly interactive. But there are some other things that have been changed between these editions. Outside of the artwork, you're going to have more cards, 32 cards, where in the base game, the beginning game, this one has 38. They even changed some of the names and did some rebalancing for those as well. They have a new tiebreaker system that help kind of resolve things a lot faster. They reworked the 2-player game. They also have a new solo mode, which is a robust solo mode. I like to use the words they give you to you in the robust solo mode. We'll talk about all that stuff as we go along here, but that's generally some of the new stuff that is going on in this game. So what is the game? Well, I'm going to go through this stuff, give you a quick overview. I'm not going to go through full rules, but you'll understand the concepts, hopefully, and we'll spend more time on my review. Now, you're going to start out, each player is going to start out with 40 cards, the same 40 cards. And one player out of the entire group is going to shuffle their cards, and they will get 6 cards out of that deck. We will go to our decks, the other players, and get the same 6 cards out of there. Now, what happens is now we have perfect information. So we all know what we have. It's how we manage our hands. And what are we trying to do? We're trying to get these tokens, and we're also trying to get the most doubloons, which comes from getting a certain amount of tokens and also having a certain amount of cards in play and also in your play area on your ship. But there's a little bit of interaction here, so you won't just get away with getting everything for free, and there's sometimes different benefits to playing these certain cards. So what we're going to do is we're going to have different voyages, and think of the voyages getting through playing cards and resolving each one of these over a certain amount of days, and that would be an entire voyage. Then we would replace the tokens, and then we would go to 5 days, and that would be another voyage, and then finally we will go through 6 of playing cards, and then that would be our 3rd voyage. Now the thing is, as you go along, you're only going to be playing a certain amount of cards each round. Like I said, 4. Well, I'll play 4 out of the 6 of these cards. That leaves 2 cards left. In the next round, I will have 5. I will be playing 5 cards. Well, I'll have 1 card from that new hand and 2 more from the previous hand, and even more depending on card effects. And then the last one, I'll have the 6 cards that we get for the last round, but then other cards that I may have had from the previous round. So you got to pay attention to what's going on. Plus, the type of tokens that you collect during these voyages will give you different abilities. And the ones that I have here, I'll talk about a little bit more in detail, but they even have tiles that you can switch up and put in there to kind of switch things up. And even on the back side, they have ones for that as well. And then they even have ones specific for solo mode as well. They got a lot of stuff going on here. So how does this go? All right, so we're going to play a card from our deck, and what we'll do is I'm just going to throw random cards down here. We'll put this one here. We'll put 28. Let's do that. And then we'll do like this, 35. I don't even know. I just put these out here. Trust me, I just did. I just grabbed cards. All right, here we go. So we're going to put these in ascending order if you can't tell when we play cards. And you have a spot for up to 6 players. And then what we'll have is a day phase. During the day phase, you're going to resolve cards from left to right, so in ascending order. And if they have that symbol, they will activate that symbol. So for example, this Brute is brutal, okay? Brute is brutal. They kick out this card on the right here all the way out, so you don't get a chance to actually resolve during the dusk phase, which is very important, but we're not going to kick them out for this example, okay? But let's just say, before we get started here, there was a tie. Let's say somebody else played their Brute. Ties are resolved by looking at this reputation track. And the reputation track, this is one of the things they adjusted here. The higher you are, the further to the right you are, is higher you are. The further to the left you are, the lower you are. But this reputation track also acts as some income that you will get at the beginning of each round. So you definitely will have a disadvantage for being lower during the actual getting money part, but you'll have the tiebreaker. And then you also will gain and lose reputation as things go along, but you can gain coins if you go off, lose coins if you go off this way. Just kind of give you an idea of what's going on. Do we have anything in the day? No, we don't. Do we have anything in the day? No, we don't. Now we'll go to the dusk phase where we resolve things from right to left. And we're also going to start taking these tokens. So the person that's furthest to the right will take one of these tokens here of their choosing. And there's a reason why you want to pick certain tokens. There are ones like the map that gives you set collection. It gives you doubloons for having 2 or 3 of them. You have barrels that not only have dusk abilities that help you gain reputation, but they also will give you money at the end of the round. So the more barrels that you have in your possession, the more money you will get. You also have chests that will give you straight money. Things that, like the hook right here, will allow you to have cards in your ship, which we will talk about in a second. So after I take my little token here, and if there was an ability I had, I would activate it, but he does not. The collector, this is one of those things that happens at the end of the round. So I should probably talk about that. As we get towards the end of the round, you are going to be paying attention to these little hooks, the anchors that are in here, because at the end of the round, all these anchor abilities from your tokens and from cards will trigger, and you will be able to get most of your doubloons by that. That's how you get doubloons in the game mostly, is from these tokens combinations and also activating these things based on the tokens you've collected during the round. This card will go over here. The next player will pick up their card, trigger their ability. So this one says if you took a saber or a hook token, gain 2 reputation. He did not do that. But if he did, he would have this ability activate. But we're still on this one here, and he's probably going to take this one because, hey, the map tokens, if you have a set of 2, you get 7. If you have a set of 3, you get 12. So that's important. And my boy over here, Black, he is going to miss out on a really bad scoring opportunity. He's going to get a bad scoring opportunity because relics at the end of the round are going to have him lose 3 doubloons, and you don't want that to happen. Now, we'll go to the next area here, the next day, and we will play another card from our hands. So people do have to pay attention to what you're playing. There's different tiebreakers I talked about, and we'll keep doing this. And as we come off to each round and we play cards, you'll kind of have to pay attention, right? So then eventually we'll get to the end of this voyage, and I'm just going to slide these off here. And then all of a sudden what we'll do is we will resolve these tokens that are here, looking at these boards and also the cards that we played during our round. And that's really the round, because we'll determine our doubloons and then we'll get rid of them and we'll put them on our tracker right here. And that's it. We don't carry over the actual coins to the next round. We just go ahead and grab those doubloons and then we put them on our tracker and then we're done. That's the basics of this game. I want to get into my opinion of the game because that's about as deep as it really goes. It's actually a really easy game to play and explain. So, my review for the game. Did I like this game? Would I suggest this game to you? Well, I'll tell you my score up front. I given this game a 6. There are some really, really good things that are going on with this game, but there's a lot of things I'm not necessarily too excited about, and I kind of landed at it being an okay game. This game shines. It shines at 4, 5, and 6. It just shines because it's the right amount of chaos. You still know what everybody has in their hand. You still have to prepare, knowing, hey, maybe I do need to keep this brute for like the that third voyage, because I may want a specific amount of doubloons from keeping these maps. Maps are really highly desirable, and chests are highly desirable because they give you 5 money. They give you 5 doubloons, so you want those, and people know they want those. But there's also cards that are really attractive for being lower numbers, so you also have that as well. And the cards that are higher, of course, they may seem attractive. I even forgot to talk about the night abilities, because the night abilities are things that will trigger every round. I kind of skipped over that. You have the day, you have the dusk, and then you have the night, which will activate kind of your tableau that you're building each round, and which can be some combos that you keep receiving benefits for. And thankfully, they have cards to wash those out. But yeah, it's going to be really, really good at higher player counts. Now, 3 gets a little edgy, and I'll tell you why. When you get to the lower player counts, there's going to be some different interaction that happens. When you get to the 2 player, you're going to have this board here. It's going to go on top of your on top of your board here like this. And then as you play cards, you're going to only have 2 people playing cards. But as you can see, this midshipman is in the middle as a 20.5. So there's a reason why there's a 20 and below. If you both play cards that are 20 and below, you got to really watch out for this space, because what will happen is someone, and the way the card reads in the dusk phase is that it will take away, it will take, not only that person be able to take a token, but they may end up taking another token away and then leaving you with the worst token overall. So it's a real cutthroat 2-player game, very cutthroat, almost too interactive for some people. And I have to make sure you know the emphasis of that, because some people buy these types of games for just 2 players, and I think that this is one of the probably the weakest mode in the game, although that was kind of the target of what they were looking for. Now, the solo mode is a little bit on the similar age. It's kind of replicating a 3-player game. What you'll have is you'll have a pilferer, and they'll flip that card over, and you'll have the tableau of the other character, but you'll also have these automa cards that will tell you which card they play out of their hand, and it'll say, grab these from the left or grab this one from the right. And it also has a way that it takes tiles. I think the system is pretty neat. It's just that it's not engaging enough and exciting enough for me to say, buy this game specifically just for solo. I would definitely not, you know, sing from the heavens about this game just for solo. But it is interesting. Automa Factory always does a good job with trying to make these things work. Did the same thing with Pendulum. It just fell flat for me as well. But this one, you know, it's pretty good. It's just not solo only purchase. Let's just say that. But yeah, as you can tell, I'm not necessarily excited about it at low player counts. So really what we're at is probably really magnificent 4, 5, 6 every time. The highest I got to was 4. So I feel like that's where it was. And I feel like the first time I played this game, it was several years ago, and I played it at 5, I think it was, and I just had fond memories of that, and I think that's still there, and it's going to be for those people who are looking for that. So it's going to stay in my collection specifically because I do want a game that stays under an hour that's high player count. So that's really conditional, very, very conditional. There's not much else I can say. I feel like this game is okay. I'm not going to change your mind if you love Libertalia. I don't think it's going to change anybody's mind. I should say I also appreciate that tiebreaker. It makes things real quick and simple to resolve. I really did appreciate that part of the game, because sometimes tiebreakers are something you always end up looking in the rule book for. That's a thing, right? That's always a thing. So yeah, I'm glad that they figured that out. But yeah, overall, I feel like this game is a 6. I didn't expect it to be great, and it ended up being okay, pretty good, right? All right, folks, what do you think? What do you think? Libertalia, Winds of Galecrest. I didn't want to mess that up, because then I'd have to retake this entire thing. That's right, I do 1 cuts, all right? So yeah, let me know in the comments below what you think of Gales of Windcrest, or Winds of Galecrest, Libertalia there. And, you know, if you have any feedback for me, please let me know in the comments below. And with that, folks, you take care. You have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me on MVM.